and unboxing fans, you are watching Saved by the Bell podcast with my co-host Dark Side of the Moon. Listen, in today's episode, we've got a lot to cover. We've got a lot to talk about. So we're going to try run through this. We're going to try breeze through this as much as possible. We've got the recap to talk about. Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, the undercard, one of the biggest nights in British boxing. We're going to do our review on that, give you our thoughts, give you our 2 pences. Anyways, moving on, we've got 3 days back-to-back action-packed boxing. We've got May the 2nd, which is tomorrow, which is a Friday, May the 3rd, which is Saturday, and May the 4th, which is Sunday. We've got back-to-back. We've got main events. We've got Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. That will be on a Friday. Main event for Saturday will be Canelo Alvarez versus William Skull. And the main event on Sunday will be Naoya Inoue versus Ramon Cardenas. Now, of course, we are going to speak about a few of the undercards that are on each event. So let's get into it. All right, cool. Before we get into this video, Darkside, how you doing? What's going on? Looking fresh, looking fly, mate. Talk to us.
Thank you, bro. No, I'm just feeling good. I'm enjoying this wonderful weather we're having, man. It's the first time I've actually been out in a t-shirt in quite some time, so I've been enjoying it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've been, my bro. You've been keeping well, enjoying the weather?
Like you said, bruv, you're enjoying the weather. When the sun's out, you know what they say. You know what I mean? You can't say that on here. But yeah, anyways, I'm enjoying myself. I'm keeping blessed, keeping strong. Weather's nice. What can I say? We've got boxing coming. Listen, it's great news all round. All right, cool. Let's dive straight into this. I want to talk about Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. But before we get into that, I say we dive into the undercard. Give it, let's kickstart things with the starter pack. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the undercard as a whole. Listen, from a boxing purist point of view, I enjoyed myself from a boxing purist. Of course, boxing casuals make up most of the sport. Boxing casuals want to see knockouts, want to see drama, want to see blood, want to see people get dropped to the canvas. But of course, this is boxing. This is not BKFC. This is not bare knuckle fighting. Do you know what I mean? This is the sweet science of boxing. And not a lot of people understand the true meaning behind that term. I say last week on Saturday, you could have said that was a sweet science of boxing because it was almost like each fighter on that card was having a chess match. You know what I mean? No one was trying to go in for the kill. Everybody was trying to win on points or outland the opponent. I mean, take a look at, for an example, Anthony Yarde versus Lyndon Arthur. There was a lot going on. Lyndon Arthur was just using his jabs mainly, leaning on the ropes, getting hit. Don't know what he was doing on the ropes. I reckon if he came off the ropes, he would have won the fight. But he stayed on the ropes, kept getting hit, and Anthony Yarde won that fight. Now, obviously, I don't give credit to Anthony Yarde. Like, it wasn't a performance I said, wow, fucking hell, mate, you're gonna get a world title shot next. Nah, man, I don't know where the fuck he's gonna go after that performance there. But anyways, I'll give you my brief thoughts on just the undercard, and then you can give me yours. I think the highlight of the undercard for me was Aaron McKenna. Wow, I mean, nobody expected that. I won't say nobody expected that. Not a lot of people expected that kind of performance from Aaron McKenna. But I did say that Liam Smith, you don't have anything left in the tank. I did say that even if he wins the fight, what's next for him? Do you know what I mean? He's fighting an Aaron McKenna. It clearly goes to show you what level he's on right now. Yeah. So Liam Smith, is time to call it a day. I mean, I don't think he's going to become world champion. I don't think he's going to be in any big fights. Aaron McKenna, you know what? He said it before. All I need is one opportunity, and that's the opportunity he got, and he showed himself. You know what I mean? Vidal Riley Clark is what it is. Brandon Glanton, CBS is what it is. There's nothing really much to talk about because it is what it is. You know what I mean? Both of these guys, both fights were just boring. And I'm a boxing purist and a casual, and I still find it boring. Like, it was like a sparring session. Anyways, enough of me waffling. I want to hear your thoughts on the undercard. and then we'll move on towards the main event of that night.
Yeah, man. So the undercard was all right. Do you know what I mean? But it wasn't the kind of action that a lot of people were expecting, especially just starting with the Yard versus Lyndon Arthur. I think is one of those clashes of styles which is just going to end up in a scrappy fight every time. You look at the fights that they've had; they've been scrappy. Even though Yard won the second one, it was still a scrappy fight. So yeah, it wasn't too much fun. I mean, where do they both go from here? I mean, they're kind of in a nowhere kind of position at the moment because I think Yard, he's already been up at world level and he's had 2 world title shots already. For Lyndon Arthur, he's always kind of been stuck at British level, and I think he's going to stay there most probably. So that's that fight. Moving on to the Liam Smith versus Aaron McKenna fight. Liam Smith actually kind of disappointed me a bit. I thought he was going to do better, but you have to give all the props to Aaron McKenna, a young, up-and-coming fighter who's hungry. He's got a bit of pop in his shots. He managed to drop Liam Smith with a body shot. I think it was the 12th, either the 11th or 12th round in the fight. So fair play to Aaron McKenna, on to bigger and better things for him. And he's going to have a little bit of a bright future because if he can deal with the Liam Smith this early in his career, then he's putting himself in a good position. What other fights did we have?
Clark versus Vidal Riley.
Oh, yeah. Vidal Riley versus Clark. Bit of a scrappy fight. Again, a little bit scrappy. I thought Vidal boxed well, but again, it just goes back to what you said. All the fights were pretty much the same in the sense they were a little bit boring to watch, almost a bit frustrating at times to watch, just a bit too scrappy, really. So I didn't really enjoy that one either. There was one other fight, I think. I'm
TBS versus Brandon Glanton.
CBS and Brandon Glanton, thanks for reminding me, man. Again, CBS always fights scrappy, so I kind of expected that to be a scrappy fight anyway. What I would say is fair play to Brandon Glanton. Like, he did give it a good go. He did throw some bombs out there. He landed some really good shots on CBS, and he showed that he's a decent fighter. Let's say at least European level, because he hanged in there with CBS, who's a former world champion. Who only got defeated, when was it, like last year or something? So
yeah.
fair play to Brandon Glanton, and maybe on to bigger and better things for him. Who knows?
Exactly. Maybe bigger and better things. I mean, I did see there was quite a lot of slipping and sliding. I don't know what was going on. If it was Brandon Glanton's shoes, if it was the canvas.
Yeah,
we did see his knee wrapped up. So I don't know what was going on there. But anyways, we're not going to speculate because it is what it is. Let's move on to, of course, the main event attraction. This is what everyone was there for. 67,000 in attendance. And from what we're hearing now, 1 million pay-per-view buys. So, and I'm sure all the illegal streams as well. So we're gonna do over 1 million, you know what I mean, streams worldwide. But anyways, let's quickly and swiftly get back on topic. Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn. This was family feud. Legacies were on the line. Bad blood, grudge match. And what makes this fight more special was their fathers fought each other 32 years to 35 years prior to their sons fighting each other. You know what I mean? Nigel Benn versus Chris Eubank Sr. They had some legendary rivals. You know what I mean? I'm sure me and you and rest of the people that are watching this show will remember the gladiator scene where Chris Eubank Sr. was like, "I'm pumped, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go." And then Nigel Benn's like, "You what? You want it? You want it?" He pushes him. "You want it? You can go right now. You want it?" All right, these guys were hilarious. Legendary British moments, British icons, shall we say. Now, fast forward 32 years, 35 years on, and now the sons are fighting each other. So this was a big fight for British boxing. Maybe not around the world, but for British boxing, this was a big fight. You know what I mean? You had the Eubank name versus the Benn name. And it was a big fight. Let's be honest. It was a big fight. At first, when the fight was getting built up, the hype was getting built up, I didn't know what to make of it because I was thinking, what the fuck? Conor Benn's a 147 fighter. Chris Eubank Jr. 168, 168. So how is this fight gonna play a part? You know what I mean? But then obviously they came to They came to an agreement, 160. Conor Benn was going to move up. Chris Eubank Jr. was going to come down, and the fight was supposed to take place. That was for this time. The last time the fight was supposed to take place at 157 or 158.
Yeah.
You get me? That was back in October 2022. Apparently, allegedly, Conor Benn got done for popping pills, popping substances to enhance his performance. VADA, allegedly, VADA, you know what I mean? They put him on a 2-year ban. VADA, fuck yourselves. And it turns out that nothing happened. It turns out that it was all down to an egg. Conor Benn ate too much eggs. That's what it was down to. Maybe there was something in those chickens that, we don't know about. But yes, anyways, so fast forward, the fight was reintroduced. I think it was last year time they got reintroduced. Fights getting built up. We saw what happened, that legendary egg slap. That's what done it for the public. That's what done it for most of us fans. The legendary egg slap. That's going to go down in history.
Yeah.
It's never been done before. No one's been slapped with an egg. And Chris Eubank Jr. holds the title in the Guinness World Record books for slapping someone with the egg. You know what I mean? It was hilarious. But yes, anyways, fight night. And now we are here. So now me and my friend Dark Side of the Moon are going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. I do want to say one thing before we start going back and forth. What a fight that was. Fucking hell. That was blockbuster entertainment. That is what you pay. That is what you pay pay-per-view for. You know what I mean? That fights like that want you to purchase pay-per-views. Now, if anyone's watching, I'm not encouraging illegal streaming. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying those are the fights that want you to pay. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm not encouraging anyone to illegal stream. No. We don't do that on Child Sports and Saved by the Bell podcast. We keep it real over here. Anyways, the fight itself, what a bad boy fight. It's very rare to see a fight live up to the same hype as the build-up.
Yeah, true.
And this fight exceeded that level. That's crazy. For someone that's never been a champion and for someone that hasn't even been in the sport for that long, for them to get £1 million pay-per-view buys, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. But yeah, I am going to give you my thoughts on it. What a bad boy fight. Round 1 to round 12, fucking hell, these guys was going. Would you reckon, Dark Side?
Yeah, it was an absolutely crazy fight. I'm not going to lie. With all the build-up and everything, and that one moment where Chris Eubank Sr. stepped out, that is a next iconic moment where he stepped out of the car and went with Chris Eubank Jr. side by side, walking into the arena. I think most boxing fans wanted that to happen. And when it did happen, just gave such a buzz to the fight. Do you know what I mean? That would have given Chris Eubank Jr. such a boost as well for this fight, having his dad in his corner. But let me just get into the fight. I thought it was fantastic. I have heard numerous boxing coaches, trainers, people who watch boxing that have YouTube channels, and there are a lot of people are saying this is some of the greatest fight that they've seen, like one of the greatest fights that they've seen live. And I can't disagree with that. It was such an explosive fight from round 1 to round 12. Both guys throwing hell for leather. Maybe a little bit sloppily at times, if you know what I mean, because they just had so much emotion in it. But it made for such a great fight. Very back and forward. I saw several times Conor Benn did actually stun Chris Eubank Jr., which says he has reasonable power considering he came in at 156. And Chris Eubank Jr. would have been 160, slightly over, but the following day would have probably been back at 168 or maybe 170. So great fight from both guys. I think Chris Eubanks Jr., his experience probably won that fight because it was that close, in my opinion. You could have given it a round to Conor Benn or maybe a couple of rounds to Chris Eubank Jr. I think most people would have agreed with those scorecards or accepted those scorecards because the fight was so close. But overall, an epic fight. one that a lot of people are talking about. Some people saying no need for a rematch, go and do something else. Some people are saying, yeah, we're going to have a rematch. We should have a rematch. Well, we already know now there is going to be a rematch, and it's confirmed for September. It hasn't been officially signed yet, but that is the time that Turki Al-Sheikh is trying to plan it for, I think, for the Canelo and Terence Crawford card in September. So we may have that on the undercard. But just a final thought, an absolutely epic fight. Both guys should be proud of themselves. I know Conor Benn's extremely disappointed that he didn't get the victory, but he's still young. He can come again. And of course, the rematch is going to take place. However, I would like both guys to get in the ring one more time, even if it's just with a really easy opponent. Somewhere in between, but before September times, they need to get in the ring with anyone. It doesn't matter who it is. Just get in the ring one more time and keep that ring rust off. And we should have another explosive fight in September.
Hey, like you said, there's a rematch that's been confirmed for September. Turki Al-Sheikh has approved for this fight. And if he's approved for it, guess what? We are going to get a rematch. I don't think we're going to get any warm-up fights. I think they're just going to go straight at it. Ideally, what we would like to see is Mario Barrios against Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. against Canelo Alvarez. But who knows if we're going to get that. If we're not going to get that, then yeah, I'm happy with the rematch. Let's get it on. Do you know what I mean? What a banging fight. That's all I can say, man. What a blockbuster fight. And imagine young people watching that, young boxing fans. That's legendary shit for them, you know what I mean? All right, cool. Anyway, let's quickly and swiftly move on now. So we've got the recap out the way. Now we're going to talk about the following week. Well, not even the following week, because we are uploading this episode a bit late than usual. We normally post it on Monday, Tuesday, but today it's a Thursday, so we're going to post it either today or tomorrow. But this video will be out before the fight, so fuck yourselves if you don't want to chat shit about us, you know what I mean? Yeah, we're fucking doing our job, you know what I mean? Anyways, let's talk about the first event. So we've got 3 events to talk about, one day apart from another. But the first one we're going to talk about is tomorrow night, UK time, 11 p.m. We're going to get the first of the Fatal Fury. And who is fighting? Main event, Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. Devin Haney versus Ramirez. Who else is it? Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza Jr. Those are the main. Well, it's only 3 fights. I'm sure there's one more fight on that event, but I can't remember who it is. But yeah, it's basically 3 fights. It's a quick event.
I'm trying to look it up quickly for you because I got it here. Where is it?
I'm sure there's 4 fights, but these are the 3 main ones.
It's Ramirez, Lopez versus Barbosa. That's all that's on that card. Then you got versus Skull, Sarache versus Munguia, Bakole versus Ajagba.
No, that's on Saturday's event.
Oh yeah, that's the Saturday one. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what it is, because this event is taking place at New York Times Square. I think for licensing they have to keep it quick and short. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's only so much they can stop traffic. New York Times Square, it's the busiest place in New York, and for them to put a ring in the middle of the New York Times Square, I guess it's got to have to be a kind of a quick job. So there's a reason why there's only 4 fights on. The other fight I can't remember who it is, but the 3 fights that are taking place is the ones that we've just mentioned. All right, let's kickstart things off here. Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza Jr. Now, Arnold Barboza Jr. beat Jack Carroll to earn his shot at Teofimo Lopez. Now, whoa. I mean, listen, this is going to be a great fight. It's going to be back and forth. Does Teofimo Lopez still have it in him? Or is Arnold Barboza Jr. on a momentum right now that nobody can stop? Ooh, we are going to find out tomorrow night. All right, cool. Teofimo Lopez, very good with his hands. You know, he likes to throw combination shots. Arnold Barboza Jr. is a bit more for stalker. He likes to, you know what I mean, keep his shots and throw the right ones. He don't like wasting shots. That's the difference in this fight. We're going to see a high-level puncher versus a take-your-time sort of puncher. You know what I mean? So it is going to be a clash of styles, and we are gonna see who is gonna come victorious, who is gonna come on top of this one, because they say timing beats speed, but sometimes speed beats timing.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know what I mean? And this is one of those fights here. It's timing versus speed. We got a guy who likes to throw punches, and we got a guy who likes to wait for the right shot. Do you know what I mean? We saw what Arden Barboza Jr. did against Jack Catterall. Great performance. Yeah. Always stayed on his game. Never once let Jack Catterall get in motion. Never once let him get comfortable. It was always in Arnold Barboza Jr.'s favor because his game plan was good. Now, if he comes in with the same game plan to disturb Teofimo Lopez's rhythm, then you know what time it is. But if Teofimo Lopez comes out, guns blazing, letting those hands fly, I feel like it might be just a little bit too much for Arnold Barboza Jr. Because if you are a natural counter puncher, a slow pace guy, it's going to mess up with your algorithm when someone comes out guns blazing. Do you know what I mean? If you're a good adjuster and you can adjust and you can time the speed, then yeah, you're good. But I do believe Teofimo Lopez does have that advantage over him. Now, I'm going to give you a prediction for this fight. I predict that Arnold Barboza Jr. will beat Teofimo Lopez in this fight. I'm going for the, you know me, I like to throw in wild cards.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? No risk, no reward.
Yeah.
You get me? Just take a look at the bookies. If you got to risk it, you got to put money, you got to risk it to win a biscuit.
Yes, sir.
You get me? So anyway, that's my prediction there. I want to hear your thoughts on this fight here, brother.
Yeah, no, great fight. We always like seeing Teo in action. I think I've only really watched Teo once and thought, no, he don't look very good then. Other than that, normally he looks pretty good. He was good in his last fight against, was it Josh Taylor in his last fight? I could be wrong. He might have had one since then.
I can't recall, bro. I can't recall.
Yeah, no worries. But anyway, I think pretty much every time I watch Teo, I always find him exciting to watch because he's the type of fighter you don't really know what he's going to come with because he always throws shots from random angles and he does carry good power as well. He's very good with his feet. I have to say, I think Arnold Barboza Jr., he really impressed me against Jack Catterall because, you know, you look at Jack Catterall and what he's done to Josh Taylor being a former undisputed champion at 140 pounds, you would kind of expect the same sort of thing from Jack Catterall against Barboza. And that just goes to show that Barboza is a top fighter. So it's going to be an interesting clash of styles. My prediction is that I think Teofimo is going to win because every time I go against Teo, he normally pulls out a victory. I always think, no, he's probably not going to win this one. And then he pulls out a crazy victory. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. But my prediction is Teofimo on a points-based decision.
I like that. We've got one each, so we're going to see what happens. You know what I mean? All right, cool. Let's move on to Devin Haney is making his return after his loss to Ryan Garcia. That fight got called a no contest because Ryan Garcia got popped for taking, I forgot the name for it, but yeah, he got popped for taking some substances, performance enhancement substances. Since then, both men are making their return to the ring on the same card as each other. That's crazy. I just clocked that. Oh shit. But yeah, Devin Haney is making his return. I think he's been inactive for what, about a year?
Yeah, about that now, yeah.
About a year and a bit. So he's making his return to the ring. Now, I know for a fact Devin Haney hasn't been training like that. I know for a fact he ain't been sparring like that. I don't even think he's even got the minerals left after that defeat he took from Ryan Garcia. He's talking about, I need to take time away. I need to take a break. What the fuck you mean take a break? You're just fucking getting started. You're young. You're in your prime. And you're talking about you want to take a break. What the fuck are you doing? Have you got a fucking vagina? Have you got a fucking Willy Wonka? What have you got? What have you got? If you've got a Willy Wonka, then fucking let it swing. You know what I mean? enough jokes. But yeah, he's talking about, I need to take time away. I've lost love for the sport. What are you talking about? You've lost love for the sport. You haven't even fucking been that guy. You're not even that guy for you to be like, yeah. So he's making his return to the ring. Let's see what happens in it. You know what I mean? I can't really give you a prediction on someone that hasn't even been active. You know what I mean?
That's
Is
true.
there going to be ring rust? Is he going to be the same Devin Haney that he was before? Fuck knows. Anyway, he's going up against Jose Ramirez. Now, Jose Ramirez has been active. Jose Ramirez is a good fighter. Jose Ramirez is a dog. You know what I mean? Devin Haney is not a dog. Jose Ramirez is. And this is a hard fight to come back to. So you know what? I am going to give Devin Haney some credit because he is coming back to a hard fight. It's not like he's cherry picking any bum that no one knows about. Do you know what I mean? He's going up against a guy who's also an up and comer.
Former world champion Jose Ramirez is Josh Taylor had to beat Jose Ramirez to be the undisputed champion. He had to beat Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, you're right. But still, he's up and comer. You know what I mean? He's still chasing the title. Do you know what I mean? They're all in the same race. The only difference is who wants it more. I'm going to make a prediction. My prediction is Jose Ramirez will beat Devin Haney in this fight. It will be on a points-based decision. There's my prediction right there. I'm telling you, I'm going for wild cards only. This one.
Definitely a wild card.
Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on this as well, bruv.
Yeah, my thoughts pretty simple. I'm not going to say too much. But I think if you look at the stars of both fighters, you got Jose Ramirez is quite a pick his shots type of fighter. He's not going to throw that many unreasonable shots. You look at Devin Haney, he's a bit more active, I would say. And he is quite a good technical boxer. We have to give him credit on that. Look, his downfall is he's not a massive puncher. If he was, he would be almost a complete fighter because Devin Haney technically is very, very good. He's very good as a fighter. Okay, maybe his chin is not the best. We've seen that against Ryan Garcia. But we have to wait and see what happens, man. I think Devin Haney, the breakaway is a bit strange, but there are many fighters that do that. They take a break, they come back, they're re-energized, and they box brilliantly. But then you've got other fighters out there who say they're going to take a break, like Billy Joe Saunders after he lost to Canelo, and he still hasn't had a fight since then. That was about 4 years ago now. Do you know what I mean? He's pretty much retired. The weight he's at now, he could probably fight at cruiserweight. Do you know what I mean? The guy's massive right now. He would have to lose a lot of weight to get back down. But anyway, I think my prediction is going to be, I think Devin Haney probably will win this on points. The reason why I think that I'm more certain of that, Ramirez is not old, but he's getting older. And Devin Haney's very young and he's quite an active fighter as well. And I think that's going to help him win on a points-based decision.
Let's fucking have it. All right, cool. Let's get on to the main card, the main event. Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. Now, these two have history. I'm sure most boxing purist fans have seen the footage of these two sparring when they was younger. I believe Ryan Garcia was 18, 19, and Rolly Romero was 22, 23, something along those lines. Don't quote me for it word for word. But anyways, that's what I thought. That's what we all saw. We saw Rolly Romero put in works on the younger fighter who was Ryan Garcia. Now, that was many years ago. I'm sure these two have sparred in the amateurs as well. But anyways, that was many years ago. We are in the professional ranking now. We are in a professional game. Amateur boxing, sparring is completely different to professional boxing. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about Amir Khan and Kell Brook. Yeah. Amir Khan said that he schooled Kell Brook in the amateurs. He schooled Kell Brook in sparring. Yeah, it sounded good, but when it came to the professional fight, we saw what happened. Kell Brook schooled Amir Khan.
Yeah, that's true.
So you see what happens. You see what goes on. Anyways, let's quickly move on. But let's quickly move back on track. Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero. Listen, Ryan Garcia is also coming back after 1 year off, taking these substances to enhance his performance. Naughty boy. I don't know what to say about Ryan Garcia because obviously, you know what, he was going through all that racist rantrum, talking about kids getting kidnapped and getting raped in the fucking forest. Like, he was talking a lot of crazy shit, and I'm just surprised how people have forgot about all that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and he's been reinstated back into the undisputed game. So I'm thinking, what the hell? So just because you're popular, just because you're good for the sport, what people are just gonna forget about them things did and just But then if you take a look at Liam Cameron, who had, I think it was 0.4 0.4 of cocaine in his system, and he got a 4-year ban.
Jesus.
So you see, different rules for different fools.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, let's get back on track. Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero. Ryan Garcia has been out of action for about a year or so as well. So it's going to be some ring rust. Rolly Romero has been more active than Ryan Garcia. This fight is simple. Speed versus power.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. It's speed versus power. Can Rolly Romero time Garcia and land his bombs? Or is Ryan Garcia going to be too fast, too quick, too sharp for Rolly Romero? That's the question. And that's the simplest way to break down this fight. That's basically what it is. Speed versus power. Now, I am going to give you a prediction. I told you this one's here is a wild card. I am predicting that Rolly Romero will knock out Ryan Garcia in this fight.
Oh my God, bro.
Listen, I told you, I'm going for wild cards only. I'm throwing wild cards. You know what I mean? Yeah.
If enough wild cards, you'll get one right, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You get me? So I believe, I don't believe. I hope that Rolly Romero knocked out Ryan Garcia in this fight. Shall I give you a prediction? What round? I say round 8 he's gonna knock him out.
I'm laughing, but you never know, bro. It is boxing.
You never know. Listen, of course, we know Ryan Garcia is the better boxer, the better package overall. But I told you, I'm going for wild cards only. So that's my wild card. I want to hear your thoughts on this fight. Give us a prediction.
Yeah, just quick thoughts. I think most people know by now Ryan Garcia is a bit of a speed freak when it comes to boxing. To be fair, he does have power as well. Like, he's got some pretty solid knockouts on his record, you know what I mean? But Rolly is known for being quite awkward and quite powerful as well. Like, you can hear from any top fighters. I heard Virgil Ortiz talking about the fight yesterday, and he was saying, people don't realize Rolly can really punch, you know? He's a really hard puncher. And to hear that from Virgil Ortiz, who's like one of the hardest punchers in boxing right now, like, that makes you realize that people aren't joking about his punch power. But anyway, on to my prediction, because I'm going to keep it fairly short and sweet. I think Ryan Garcia should box his way to victory. The reason why I say that is because I think that Rolly Romero is quite awkward the way he fights. But I think because of Ryan's speed of footwork and speed of hand, I think he's going to be able to negate that awkwardness quite easily. If he uses his jab well, goes head and body, I think it should be a fairly easy fight for Ryan Garcia to win, as long as he's defensively sound. Because if he's not, and this is what Virgil Ortiz said, he said, we saw Luke Campbell putting down Ryan Garcia. And Virgil Ortiz says, I'm pretty sure that Rolly can hit a lot harder than Luke Campbell can. And
Most definitely.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens, man. But I'm predicting Ryan Garcia unanimous decision.
All right, let's have it. All right, cool. So that is tomorrow night's event sorted, May the 2nd. Now we are going to move on to May the 3rd. We're not going to get into every single fight on that card, but we are going to talk about the ones that we are most interested in, and I'm pretty sure the public is interested in as well. And most importantly, the algorithm is interested in as well. All right, cool. So let's talk about it. Main event card, Canelo Alvarez versus William Skull. Now, we're not going to talk about that just right now. We're going to talk about a few other fights before that. So let's talk about Martin Bakole versus Efe Ajagba, the boogeyman of boxing, the big bastard, the black Snickers, the big fucker. He's back in action. Do you know what I mean? He is back. So Martin Bakole is going to be going up against Efe Ajagba. We saw what happened in Martin Bakole's last fight. He got sparked out by Joseph Parker, round 2 knockout. I mean, listen, he only came in for a payday. Payday. Yeah. You get me? He only came in for a payday. That's literally what it was. Now, this fight was supposed to be for the IBF final eliminator. That is no longer on the line because Martin Bakole went and fucked it up because he wanted to get a payday. And the way he got knocked out in round 2. So this fight is just a regular fight right now. Martin Bakole has been in a full training camp this time.
Yeah.
Martin Bakole is looking good. He's looking in shape. And I believe this is going to be an interesting fight. Now, Martin Bakole has got the power to knock out Efe Ajagba. Efe Ajagba has got the speed and the skills to beat Martin Bakole on a points-based decision. This is an interesting one. you know what I mean? We're gonna see what Martin Bakole is made of. Now the competition keeps on rising, it keeps on getting better. You're not fighting the likes of Baby Andersons anymore. You're fighting, I wouldn't say world level, but you're fighting top level fighters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we are gonna see
level, I'd say.
We are going to see what we are gonna see what the boogeyman is made of. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna see what this big bastard is made of. We're gonna see what he's capable of now that it comes to high level competition. Is it just a hype train, or can he really and truly back it up? Has he got the skill sets to pay the bills? We are going to find out on Saturday night. But before that, I am going to give you a prediction. I predict that FA Dragba will knock out Martin Bakole in this fight. I told you, I am throwing in wild cards only. This podcast is going to go crazy. I'm throwing absolute wild cards only. FA Dragba to knock out Martin Bakole in this fight. That's my prediction right there. I want to hear your thoughts on this fight.
Oh, good. Okay. My thoughts on the fight is it is a great fight. It's a fantastic fight. Both guys have had a loss in their career. Well, I think Bakole's had 2 losses. Maybe it's 3. I'm not 100%. But I remember FA Jagba taking a loss to, I think it was Tony Yoka. Could be wrong. So he's had a loss. He needs to make his way in the division because he's kind of just somewhere, if you know what I mean. He's kind of in a grey area right now of not very good fights. And he's happened to get this very good fight against Martin Bakole. And I think it's a great timing for him because he needs to make his name. And if he can do a number on Martin Bakole, then that would definitely push his name up there. Do you know what I mean? As far as Martin Bakole, he's had his most recent loss to Joseph Parker. He says it was a short training camp. He didn't have a full training camp or whatever. It was on short notice. Now is his opportunity to prove that that was short notice in a fight against someone else, a fight against someone who carries speed, power, and technical ability. I do believe that not Tony Yoka. See, I'm thinking of Tony Yoka now. FA Jagba, I think he can definitely do some damage to Martin Bakole because Martin Bakole is he's slower, but more like consistent with his work, and he's got a high drive. Like his drive just keeps on going. Do you know what I mean? It'll just keep going. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But if I've got to give you a prediction, I've got to go with a Martin Bakole points-based decision victory.
Let's fucking have it. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next one now. The rematch is taking place between Jaime Munguia and Bruno Soros. I mean, we saw what happened in the last fight. Bruno Soros was winning this fight with pretty much ease until... not Bruno Soros. Jaime Munguia was winning this fight with pretty much ease until Bruno Soros landed... I'm trying to think of the right word. Shall I say a miracle punch?
Yeah.
Let's say a miracle punch. I mean, he wasn't getting battered. He wasn't getting mashed down. He wasn't getting beaten up, but he was losing the fight. So he landed a miracle punch. He even got awarded. What was it? What did he get awarded in the Ring Magazine Awards? He got awarded. Was it
Knockout of the Year or something? Was it
underdog of the year or something like that? No, the biggest upset of the year.
Our biggest upset of the year, yeah.
And that was the biggest upset of the 2024. It was the biggest upset. So Bruno Soros knocked out Jaime Munguia in his hometown, Tijuana, Mexico.
Yeah.
Shit. That is not a good look. You know what I mean? Especially when Bruno Soros only had 4 knockouts on his resume at the time.
Yeah. It's crazy, bro.
What the fuck? You got knocked out by someone who doesn't even have knockout power. That's crazy. That's how you know this is boxing. All it takes is one punch to change the fight outcome. Now, the rematch is taking place this Saturday. I am pretty sure that Jaime Munguia is going to fuck up Bruno Soros. He's going to batter him. He's going to break him down. He's going to show the world, nah, this ain't no fluke. I'm going to show you who's daddy. I'm going to swing my cock and smash it on this guy's face, bro. You get me? I'm going to show you what time it is. Bruno Soros is going to get battered in this fight. Bruno Soros is going to get annihilated. He's going to get mullered in this fight. Trust me, this is going to be vengeance. This is going to be resurgence. This is going to be Jaime Munguia coming back for blood. Because to get knocked out in your hometown in Mexico, Tijuana, it's not a good look. So now he's going to come back and put on a performance that we've never seen before. This is going to be a whitewash. This is going to be a demolition job. So I'm not going to throw in a wild card for this one. I'm going to keep it simple. Yeah, Jaime Munguia to knock out Bruno Soros in the rematch. There you have it.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty much, you said pretty much everything I was going to say, to be honest. I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen here. I think if you look at the skill level of the fighters, Jaime Munguia is a much better fighter in the skill level. He's also a much harder puncher. He's probably got better footwork, better ring craft, better everything. He just got caught with one bad shot. Do you know what I mean? So I think the result is exactly as you said, especially because of the embarrassment, the hometown embarrassment. He's going to really want to get out there and do some damage, and I think he will. I think he'll probably get a stoppage in this fight. I think it's going to be a late stoppage. 9 through 12, I see a stoppage happening.
Ooh.
Gear to win by stoppage, a late stoppage.
Let's fucking have it. All right, cool. Let me quickly and swiftly move on to the main event card that's on that night. Fatal Fury, second night. We've got Canelo Alvarez versus William Skull. This is for the undisputed championship fight. All the belts are on the line. Now, take a look at this. William Skull only became the champion after Canelo refused to fight him. Canelo was ordered to fight William Skull after William Skull defeated... forgot his name. Oh, forgot the guy's name. Anyways, William Skull defeated an opponent, and after that win, the IBF demanded Canelo go and fight William Skull next.
Yeah.
Canelo was like, who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is he, bruv? Man's got more knockouts than he's got fights.
Yeah.
Get me? I've got more fights than he's got knockouts. Who the fuck is he? Don't take the fucking piss. Anyways, the belt got relinquished. I can't say the word, bro. Relinquished. The belt got relinquished, and the belt went to William Skull. Now we are here. Fast forward, we are here. So basically, Canelo is going to become a 2 times undisputed super middleweight champion this Saturday.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Man said he's going to become a 2 times undisputed champion. I mean, we've seen the IBF do this a few times, even with Alexander Usyk. They vacated the belt to Daniel Dubois. Fair enough, Daniel Dubois went and defended his belt against Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
And now he's going to face Alexander Usyk again. So it's kind of the same situation. Alexander Usyk is going to become a 2 times heavyweight champion. And now Canelo is going to become a 2 times super middleweight champion. And I bet you're thinking, hold on a minute, slow down, Ghost Rider. You're moving a bit fast. Why are you saying he's going to become a 2 times undisputed champion? Because they haven't even fought yet. Well, that's my prediction there, right there. There's no point getting into this fight because it's going to be a walk in the park. William Skull does not obtain the power, the speed, the skill set, the ring IQ, the footwork. He don't have the package to beat Canelo Alvarez. And that's the simple truth of the matter. That's the whole reason why Canelo didn't even fight him in the first place. It don't make sense for boxing. It don't make sense for Canelo Alvarez's paycheck.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is he going to fight William Skull? Who the fuck is he?
He's just fighting him because he has to, bro. That's literally it.
He's fighting him because he has to. I mean, from the time the belt got taken off you and given to him, and now you've come back in a full circle to fight him, it clearly goes to show you have to fight him now. Do you know what I mean? So
probably thinking there's a reason to fight him now because he holds a belt that I used to have.
Yeah, and he's gonna become a 2 times undisputed champion. So my prediction for this fight is Canelo Alvarez is going to rock the boat off William Skull. William Skull's gonna get hit with something so hard he won't even remember his name the next day. You know what I mean? He's gonna get mashed up. He's gonna get fucked up. He's gonna get battered in this fight. That's my prediction there. Canelo Alvarez to win this fight however the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
I want to hear your thoughts on this fight here, bruv.
Yeah, man. Not too much to say. If I'm being really honest, I don't know too much about William Skull. I know he had one fight more recently to get that title. But yeah, I mean, look, he's going up against Canelo. There are very few people in the world who you'd put up against Canelo that you'd actually give a chance against Canelo. I mean, look how many great champions that he's defeated in his run over the last sort of 5 years. So many. So putting someone like William Skull, no offense to the guy, in there with a Canelo, I mean, it makes no sense at all. But I understand why it's happening. And for him to become the 2-time undisputed, I think that's great. Going to give just a quick prediction because we don't want to talk about it too long. There's nothing to really talk about. But I think you're right. I think Canelo probably gets a stoppage. Maybe gets a late stoppage because Canelo starts slow normally and works his way in. So he'll probably be a late stoppage for Canelo at some point.
I like to hear that. We're on the same page for this one. Anyway, let's quickly and swiftly move on. the third day of the boxing, which is taking place on Sunday. This will be taking place in Las Vegas, Nevada, United States of America, where dreams come true. Now, are dreams gonna come true for Ramon Cardenas, because he is going up against the nightmare, Naoya Inoue. Shit's crazy. I mean, listen, we are going to admit that Naoya Inoue is the best super bantamweight fighter on the planet. We know this already, you know what I mean? After this fight, I don't think there's a reason for him to stay in this division. He either needs to move up or do something, you know what I mean? But we are not going to look past Cardenas, because Cardenas is a very credible opponent. You know what I mean? He's only taken one loss, and that one loss he took was back in 2017. This is 2025, and he's had a what? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 20, 8-year run.
Yeah.
Of straight wins.
Yeah, that's
now
right.
Fair enough, he's not on the same caliber and the same level as a Naoya in a way, but guess what? He's still there. He has got a very good left hook. Cardenas has a very good left hook, whether it's to the body or whether it's to the head. He's got a very crisp, sharp left hook. It almost reminds me of a Danny Swift Garcia left hook.
Yeah.
And we saw what Danny Swift Garcia's left hook does to the peoples. Look at Amir Khan, flatlined him. Look at Morales, flatlined him. Look at Zab Judah when he rocked him.
Yeah, I remember.
Danny Swift Garcia has got a very good left hook. And the same for Cardenas. He has a very good left hook. Now, if he lands his shot on Naoya Inoue, I believe he can rock him. I believe he can rock his boat, because that left hook is something serious. Now, if Cardenas comes into this fight 100% ready, 100% good, and 100% fit, and he lets those rocket launchers fly, there's a chance. There's a chance of him beating Naoya Inoue. Do you know what I mean? Of course, we all know that Naoya Inoue is the better package. He's the better fighter. He's a better boxer, banger, brawler, however you want to say it. But the one advantage that we are going to give Cardenas is the left hook. Can he land it? That's the thing. I'm going to give you a prediction for this fight. I believe Ramon Cardenas is going to knock out Inoue in this fight.
I can't help it, bro. I just find it funny.
Yeah, I can't help it either, bro. Listen, this is a wild card prediction from my side. So I don't believe, but I predict. Yeah, I hope for Cardenas to knock out Inoue in this fight. Yes, that's my prediction there. And the prediction is going to be with a left hook. A left hook will rock the boat of Naoya Inoue. So a left hook is what's going to get the job done.
You know what? Funnily enough, yeah, brief thoughts on it. I think Inoue is somewhat susceptible to being hit with heavy shots, because I've seen him once or twice get stumbled. To be fair to him, he did come back with absolute fire. Like, even after he got dropped at one time, he came back with absolute fire. But to me, I see that as a weakness. And if I'm looking at someone who's a really heavy puncher with technical ability in the division, that's going to be someone that's going to give Inoue some trouble. Do you know what I mean? And I think Cardenas is that type of fighter. He's got decent power. He's got good punching. He's got good output. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a hell of a good fight. If I had to put on a percentage base, I'm going to go 60-40, because I don't think it's a 50-50 fight, but I do give Cardenas quite a good chance to win.
I like that.
Yeah, he's a solid opponent. But I'm still predicting Inoue to win. I think Inoue is a special talent. I don't know if I think Cardenas is a special talent. Do you know? You've got to remember, look at the region that Inoue is coming out of. People from his country are not normally good boxers. Do you know what I mean? When was the last Japanese champion you remember?
Oh, that's easy, man. Fucking Jet Li.
I was thinking of boxing.
Oh, shit. Fucking hell.
That's what I mean.
Fucking hell. Sorry, my bad. My mind was something else. I thought you was talking about, like, fighters.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but yeah, no. But fuck it anyway. So yeah, I give Cardenas a good chance. It's going to be an epic fight. I think that's going to be a really, really, really good fight. Not boring at all. It's going to be very exciting. So I'm looking forward to that fight. But I'm going to predict, I think Cardenas is good enough to survive and not get knocked out. So I'm going to go points-based decision for Inoue.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So now we are going to talk about one more fight just quickly and briefly. We ain't got to get into it too much. It's a pretty simple fight, but obviously it is the co-main event, and it's the undercard of Naoya and Cardenas. The fight that I'm talking about is Rafael Espinoza. He will be going up against Edward Vasquez. He will be defending his WBO featherweight title. Pretty simple. Rafael 6'1", going up against Vasquez 5'7". Vasquez only has 4 knockouts on his resume, and Rafael has 22 knockouts on his. Listen,
sure.
Not Espinosa, sorry. Vasquez does not have the power to stop Rafael Espinosa. Espinosa is going to walk through his shots. He's going to say, fuck it, hit me. I don't care. Hit me. Throw what you got to throw. I don't care. I don't even care if you land your shots on me. I don't care. Because guess what? When I land my shots, I'm going to put you to sleep. And that's the big difference we're going to see in this fight is the punch power and ultimately the reach and the reach and the height difference.
Yeah, it's
6'1" going up against 5'7".
Yeah, it's a big difference.
It's a big difference. And yeah, Rafael Espinoza is going to retain his title on the night. There's my prediction right there. Quick and swiftly. I want to hear your thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, no, my thoughts are it's a decent fight. It's not an excellent fight, but it's a decent fight. Do you know what I mean? Espinosa, he's on the rise. Do you know what I mean? You look at his record, undefeated, various knockouts, becoming quite popular. I think Espinosa is going to win the fight. I mean, it's pretty obvious to say that when you look at the two records, you look at the experience and where they're going, their ages and stuff like that, the height and the reach advantages and stuff like that. I think it's pretty obvious, even for someone who doesn't know boxing or doesn't know these fighters at all. If you just show them their height and their boxing records, I think 9 out of every 10 people will probably pick Espinosa to win the fight. However, this is boxing, and it was Bruno Sarac that only had 4 knockouts when he knocked out Jaime Munguia. So it is a possibility to happen, but I think it's just such a small possibility. I wouldn't even think too much about it. Like maybe a 10% or 5% possibility for something like that to happen. So yeah, my decision is Espinosa. I'm going to go by stoppage because he's got a lot of knockouts. So yeah,
let's fucking have a stoppage. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We live for, man.
That's what we live for. All right, then, my peoples. There you have it. Saved by the Bell podcast. We have basically covered everything that we think is relevant. We've covered the recap for the Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Ben, and we've given you a brief, a quick and brief, breakdown of each fight card that's coming up for this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yes. And I hope you like my wild card predictions. Listen, I know deep down who's gonna win, but like I said, this is a wild card edition for myself. You know what I mean? And I want to spice things up a bit. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Me and my co-host, Dark Side of the Moon. Listen. Get your bets on. If you want to make some change, follow my wild card procedure. You know what I mean? Follow my wild card prediction. Anyways, enough of me waffling. We will catch you in the next episode. Bosh.
Peace.
Cheers.